Hi, everyone. My name is Ray, or some of you might know me as Tiki with Ray, and welcome to another episode of Tiki Mugs with Ray. Today, we are in the Rockin' Jellyfish with my buddy Steven, and we're going to talk about not the nautical connection with Tiki.
Yeah.
Why is that? And where did that come from? And I think I know the answer, but we're going to unpack this.
Okay.
And we're going to do it through some mugs that we have here.
Sure.
And, well, what do you think? Well, right off the bat, do you have any ideas, any hypotheses?
Oh, I have a few. Just thinking off the top of my head, first of all, the genesis of the tiki is either a beachcomber aesthetic,
Yep.
or it's a Polynesian aesthetic.
Yep.
And so we're talking about islands and beaches.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, when we talk about tiki as a movement, we're the Pacific Ocean, or later with pirate influence bars, the Caribbean, are essential to it. So right off the bat, I guess it's almost blindingly obvious, and I guess maybe that's why no one ever talks about it. But the tie-in with Nautical and Tiki, because it's a Pacific or Caribbean, it's an oceanic, it's a beach atmosphere.
Yeah.
So is that it? Did we solve this issue? And it's our fastest video yet, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, everyone. Mahalo, aloha, and all that other crap.
No, I mean, but at the same time,
okay. Well, here's the interesting thing. I mean, like, let's talk about the Tonga Room in San Francisco. Half the bar, well, more than half the bar, is like full on old school tiki.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the front part of the bar where the bar is at, and that's like a ship, like a pirate ship. You have, like, say, Smuggler's Cove, where it's like this nautical thing. It's like, the wood and all that stuff.
Devil's Reef.
Devil's Reef is like, well, he's people would say pirate, but to me, that he's going for, that's coming from an H.P. Lovecraft kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. But it's still got you feel like you're in a ship, a galleon, or an old ship from that era.
Well, I think, like, first of all, like, when it comes to, like, the early tiki stuff, the early tiki bars, I don't think there was any hard and fast rules that, say, Trader Vic had or Don Beach. They just it all kind of came together as they
but Don
pull
Beach,
it from their
the
things.
name Don Beachcomber. Think about it. A beachcomber, the guy on the beach in the ocean, gathering flotsam and jetsam and floats, and
that's the answer. That is the answer originally.
Yeah.
The idea is that, it was like all the drift, anything that would have drifted ashore from the ocean. And if you look at pictures of, like, the first On the Beachcomber restaurant, bar, cafe, whatever it is, it's that.
Mm-hmm.
It's all essentially driftwood, the balls, and stuff like that. And then I think people took it further with the nautical stuff. And we got a couple different mugs here that kind of do that. Well, right off the bat, we have, these are two mugs that are from Tony Canepa.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like, it was one an octopus, and you said one's something else.
One's a Kraken, this is from Inside Passage in Seattle.
Yeah, so this is
where Kiki is neither Tiki nor a Kraken. If you've ever been there, it's an amazing immersive bar that Notch Gonzalez helped design within Rumba, which is an amazing bar in itself.
Yeah, and the idea of that bar is like you're kind of like inside the hull of a boat.
Yeah, and then there's a giant, not Tiki, not Kraken, but basically a squid-like creature named Kiki.
Yeah.
And so this would represent Kiki, or
Kiki,
to me represents a Kraken.
So in theory, is this the boat that you're in when you're in the Inside Passage?
I guess it is.
Well, speaking of that, I mean, it's like Undertow. The idea is the same thing that they're really going all out, where, like, you're in the boat, like, underneath, to the point where they have the portholes, and then they're kind of like, it's like you're just doing this kind of stuff. Oh, but there's tiki. They have tikis in the place, though.
Yeah,
like, so they are combining it. But I think, there's definitely not. I'm pretty sure there's like there has been like nautical bars
Oh yeah.
that are full on just the nautical part of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, an Inside Passage is a good example. It's some of
Yeah.
the Easter eggs that they have, QR codes, and other things, if you look carefully,
Yeah.
talk about shipwrecks and the history of the Inside Passage, which is the inner route among the islands of
Yeah.
Canada into Alaska,
Yeah.
versus the outer passage, which takes you in the Pacific Ocean, going from Seattle up to Alaska. In fact, Heidi and I, this past summer, took a cruise on the Inside Passage,
Nice.
and it was beautiful. So the only way she could ever get me on a cruise is if it was a small boat
Yeah.
and it was going up to Alaska. And living in Seattle, we managed that. Some friends were going, and it was a terrific experience.
Yeah.
So I still don't know if I want to go on a cruise in the Caribbean, but certainly I would go on another Alaskan cruise.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well, instead of going to the Caribbean, you did go to Texas.
yes.
And this is from Tiki Tatsuya. It's more of an Asian themed bar than nautical. But where did they come up with to have that to include?
Well, if you can look, what does this look like? If you take away the octopus residing in it, doesn't it look like a port light?
Yes.
And that's what I think inspired them. The
Yeah.
port light, both the design of a port light as well as the drink itself.
Yeah. Well, again, the port light is what it would have been, something that potentially could have been like washed ashore.
Yeah.
That is the key. That is like where it started.
Yeah.
But then I think it just sort of went from there.
But I guess what the reason the topic interests me is it's almost as a given. The old saying that, we don't think about the air that we breathe, or a fish doesn't think about living in the water that it lives in. And water and nautical and sea permeates. I mean, we're in the Rocking Jellyfish Lounge.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons that is because we have the stained glass jellyfish, but also too, just having inexpensive lights. It creates the look and feel of the tiki bar, that kind of warm feeling, that kind of glowy feeling. Zombie Village has the corners there, where they make the waves, make it feel like the water coming out. A lot of bars do that as well. I was in a nice nautical bar in Brooklyn.
Sunken Harbor.
Yeah.
What is it? What did I get right? Sunken Harbor?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah. And that's
and
more.
The back of it has this beautiful, like the back of a ship with this beautiful artwork. That's the corner piece of the bar. It's just fabulous.
Yeah. And I think you're going to see more. I think you're going to see more of that nautical element coming into bars, whether it be a nautical tiki bar or just nautical.
But almost any bar has an element of it. I'm thinking of bars, home bars that are Disney inspired.
Yeah.
So they're going to have water to represent the Jungle Cruise, or at least fountains to represent the Tiki Room.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just sort of, it's almost sort of a given in the definition that there's some element of it. Our friend David Gambali, has a fountain, and he's, I have no room really for a fountain in here, but he was saying, you need a fountain. The water just takes the bar to the next level. And it kind of does. He's got that nice little multi-layered waterfall.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. So, it just, it just works. It just goes together, but it's really, like I say, it can either be like an accent piece or a decorative piece, or it could be the whole essence of what the bar is about.
Yeah. Well, pufferfish. This isn't a pufferfish, or is it?
Yeah.
Okay. The puckers aren't out, but you see a lot of pufferfish in tiki bars.
Oh, well, I've got 2 pufferfish here.
Yeah.
And I've got we've talked about before, the Mr. Fugu, which was one of my favorite names for a mug.
And again, it's the nautical, and this is from Kahalakoa.
Lola's Pizza.
aka Lola's Pizza.
Best Chicago style. By the way, Chicago style pizza, for those of you who are unfamiliar, yes, there is the big deep dish stuff, and that has its place.
Yeah.
But the Chicago pizza, and I lived 4 years in Chicago, is the thin stuff. And it's got to be just right. It's got to be not too cracker-like, but not too soft. It's got to be the right mix between the two. It's got to have more of a creamy than a necessarily tangy sauce. And Lola's, which is the pizza place as well as the bar, is, I have to shout out to the guys in the family who runs it. It's amazing.
Yep.
All the mugs I acquired this summer, 4 or 5, I've been meaning to post. This is one of them.
Yeah.
So because I have to give those guys a shout out, and I know you're going to do some write up on the place. You were so impressed.
Oh, I was blown away. I mean, it's full on tiki, and there's like a lot of tikis there, a lot of big tikis. The place is, when I first heard about this place, I thought it was just going to be like a pizza restaurant, and then like in the back corner or in the back room will be this like little tiki bar. No, the whole thing is the tiki bar. The restaurant is tiki. And I was blown away. I was completely blown away. There actually is a waterfall right in the middle of the thing. And they're in like North Chicago. I don't know if technically they're still in Chicago.
They're in Arlington Heights or Prospect Heights, or the border between the two, which are suburbs closer to O'Hare Airport. So if you ever have a layover, O'Hare Airport, they're 15, 20-minute away. The north side of Chicago, or if you're on your way to Milwaukee, it's a must see, must do. Great place.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're talking about Chicago, then you're going to go to a must see, must do tiki bar, 3 dots and a dash.
If you get there early.
If you get there early. If you get there
before
early.
they pump up
when they pump up the dance tunes, then it's time to leave. But 3 dots and a dash is incredible. But it is in the middle of Chicago. Yes. It's right in the heart of it. Yeah. But I've seen this mug so many times, but what is this supposed to be?
So this is an urchin, a sea urchin, and they have different colors at the 3 dots and a dash. They produce some really fun mugs over the years.
Yeah.
And their entrance is really dramatic. Coming back here, one of the interesting things when I visited late spring, early summer of 2023 of this year, and it just dawned on me. So they had gone to some of the last auctions of Oceanic Arts and acquired a number of pieces that are in the pizza parlor. Yeah, yeah. In fact, some blueprints and drawings and some other things. Senior Bruce, are they Bruce's, the father-son duo, but had taken me through it, and it's amazing. But it just dawned on me, and this is kind of how evident Maritime and Oceania goes through.
Yeah.
So the world's best and most purveyor of tiki art has ocean in the name.
Yeah, Oceanic.
I just thought about that. Just kind of a duh moment just now, but Oceanic Arts.
Yeah.
So even the purveyors of tiki art have ocean in the name. That's how. And again, this must be a blaringly case of the obvious, and maybe everyone's yelling at us. Like, how obvious can you be? But to me, it's so obvious that I've never thought about it.
Not really.
I
mean, it's like when I think of classic Polynesian pop, I just think of like, the thatch, the bamboo, the matting, like you're in almost like you're in a hut. But yeah, but not too far away is the water.
Yeah.
And it is kind of like they kind of both go hand in hand. I personally think it's like when it's just only nautical, then when you lose the tiki aspect of it, then it's sort of like, okay, well, then that's like a nautical bar.
Yeah.
But I think you need to have both elements. The interesting thing is I was actually here, Tiki Underground in Ohio, and their tiki bar is the perfect mix of those two together. Like literally right down the middle. It's like it's kind of like a long bar, kind of like Forbidden Island in Alameda. You have the long bar on the one side and tables along the one side, and one half of it full on nautical. There was these beams, support beams that were already in the building for some reason, all the way down that looked like the hull of like a ship, and then they actually put portholes in, and it's full on nautical. But then you go over this way to the bar. The bar is full on not like tiki, thatch, bamboo, and then you have all the tikis mixed throughout the place that kind of brings it all together.
Yeah.
So again, it comes back to like what you and I have been talking about, or with something that I can't stop thinking about is, the idea of the four flavor tiki and the idea of the evolution of combining things together.
Mm-hmm.
And my whole thing is like I'm okay with the combination of two different things, but I think you still get, as long as you still have the tiki element there, that's what matters to me.
So to me, I'm okay. I mean, tiki is a jumping off point for something evolutionary and different, which I hope to visit in the next couple of months, Mothership in San Diego.
Oh, you're going to go.
Totally well, we'll see. But that's my hope. And whether it's totally that, whether you can be successful in non-tiki and totally nautical, or even go full pirate on you. So for me, it's okay as a jumping off point. But what's fascinating is somehow water and the ocean is a through line through the DNA of tiki and its jumping off points, which is something that, again, blindingly obvious, but just sort of dawned on me today when we were saying, hey, let's talk about some nautical tiki mugs, and it just how sort of essential it is, and yet not something we talk about in the design or elements of tiki bars that much. And whether it deserves to be talked about or not, or just sit back and appreciate it, I can't tell. But it's something that's pretty important to what this community appreciates and is all about.
Like I agree. At first, when we first did this conversation, I thought like, okay, from what I understand, it's like it all comes down to the beachcomber aesthetic, things being washed ashore from the ocean, but not like the hull of a ship. But what I'm realizing, it's kind of like, it seems to me like these two aesthetics have been growing up and have been interconnected from the beginning. So the $1 million question, everyone out there, is: does your tiki bar have water?
Or homage to water, or watery elements, or I forgot the best nautical mug of all time. We didn't even put it out here.
Where is it?
I will grab it.
Yeah, go grab it.
Jeez, my favorite all time nautical oceanic tiki mug is a big toe mug from 2022 from Wilford's Lounge, produced by Tiki Farm. Now tell me that is not a beautiful mug.
Whoa. I don't think I saw this one yet. Did I?
I just sort of put it up there in a quasi-prominent place, but tucked away in the back of the bar.
So there's a lot of nautical going on. So right off the bat, you have a stingray here. And then all throughout it is like every sea creature that I can think of. Fish. There's I guess there's maybe a shark, like a jellyfish there.
Well, because we're in the Rocking Jellyfish Lounge, I put this near the jellyfish, because you have the jellyfish, you have an eel, you have a parrotfish, you have the coral fish, 2 parrotfish, an angelfish, looks like either a puffer fish or another parrotfish. You have a little octopus in the corner, and then the manta or stingray has the beautiful. It even has a barb, and then it has sort of the Maori style carving on it.
Wow!
And everything is carved, and it even has matting on it. Like it's I guess coral, but it also looks like tiki bamboo matting, and it has the Wilford's Lounge logo, Napa, California, on it. And you see the little eyes there, and so the ray subsumes the underground underneath it. It's so, and the colors are gorgeous.
This is a big toe mug.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
big toe. Unbelievable job here, buddy. Wow.
So
I'm glad you brought it out.
Yeah. Well, I was just looking around my bar, because that's all this. That's what had this. I was pulling out a few nautical things, not necessarily octopus mug, which I have some that you've talked about before in other contexts. And I said, I wanted to use it as a jumping off point to discuss Oceania, nautical, that sort of thing. And then I realized that that these 3 mugs are just some of the most beautiful mugs you'll find anywhere.
Yeah.
And the detail on this one is just staggering. And then Tony did such an amazing job with the creativity of these mugs as well that fits the theme of their respective bars as well.
Yeah.
Just, yeah. So.
Well, I don't know about you, Stephen, but I'm in the mood for sushi for some reason.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
This for realsies.
This for real. This for reals. Hi, everyone, and welcome.
I thought you said it was for reals.
Yeah. How the fuck do I start the Tiki mug? Oh. Hi, everyone. My name is Ray, or some of you might know me as Tiki with Ray. And, well, I haven't done a mugs episode in a while. Want to support the Tiki with Ray show and look cool doing it at the same time? Then head over to tikiwithray.com and buy yourself a Tiki with Ray shirt. They're only $20. Tony Canepa did the design, and they're screen printed in America.